All right, we're gonna call to order the Commission on Disability meeting for today, Tuesday, November 3rd of 2020. Eli, are you okay with taking minutes for today?
Yes, I already started.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I asked and not assumed. Is there anybody here for public speak? I don't see that. Okay, can you guys take a minute to review the minutes so that we can make a motion to approve them? Just let me know when you guys have done that. I don't know how to be fancy and attach them, so yet.
I didn't back the meeting that week.
You don't have to look at them or approve them today because you weren't at the last meeting. So sorry, I should have said that. Sorry.
No problem.
Next time you can look at them and approve them.
All right, no problem.
So I just reviewed the minutes and I would make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay. Is there someone that seconds?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Who seconded?
Chelsea.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing I just wanted to, all approve. Sorry. Yes. I just wanted to mention that I did was able to get in touch with Kathy, or somebody from the town was, and she's not going to be coming back right now. She's writing a letter of resignation, and who knows, maybe she'll be back in the future. But we did get a hold of Bobby, as you can see, he's here. And we did get a hold of Bryce, who will be here in the future. And so the next thing I wanted to do is just have the person that's here for Bobby, that's going to be helping him get on, introduce herself, and then maybe we can just go around and say who we are real quick. All right, Sarah. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sarah Chaplin. I'm one of the Riverside Industries supervisors, and I'll be here helping and supporting Bobby.
Awesome. Bobby, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Barbara Nichols. I live in Easthampton, Massachusetts, about 5 minutes walk from Riverside.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll go next. Angelique Baker, and I'm the chair for the Commission on Disability. And I'm happy to be here and happy to have everybody. Who'd like to go next?
I'm Eli Damon, and I am the vice chair and acting secretary.
Anybody can go next, whoever wants to.
I'm Jamie Webb. I'm the assistant planner. I'm not technically on the commission. I'm here to help liaise with the city side of things.
I'm Kelsey. I just joined the commission. It's nice to meet, I know most of you. It's nice to meet you, Bobby, and you, Sarah. Yeah, thanks.
All right. There's someone using a very loud machine outside my apartment, so I hope that's not. Can you hear that?
We can, but maybe if you mute in between talking, then.
Okay, sure.
So, hey, Bobby, I didn't get to say hi, but I'm here. It's Jeff. Good to see you.
I don't know if it belongs here, but I'll double check. I'm sorry, I'm not here. Sorry.
And hey, Sarah.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Hi, Jeff.
All right. The only person we have left, Jeff Bagg.
Sorry, yeah. So I'm the other Jeff. I'm Jeff Bagg. I'm the city planner, and I'm also on the Commission on Disability, and I'm the ADA coordinator for the city. So I'm happy to be here too. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. The first thing we have up on here, we're talking about having a discussion about membership. Jeff? Bag, you said an organizational discussion. So what kind of direction did you want to take that in? Or do you not remember? Is it just about who can come and who can't come right now?
To be honest, when I think we had communicated briefly, and I put together the agenda based on the last month's agenda. So I just moved.
So I think we covered that then.
Yeah, I just moved over everything from the last agenda. So
okay, I think.
But I think that you did inform everyone that Kathy is going to be resigning. So I think we should have some conversation about how would we want to solicit for a new member. If there isn't, I don't even know if there's really a conversation we have, but I think that we have a vacancy now. So usually that's important to know. And the mayor's office will occasionally push out information that there's vacancies on boards. But I think if collectively anyone who's on this call, is aware of someone else who might want to serve on the commission, then we should communicate with them and ask them to fill out the paperwork to potentially join. So that may fall under that agenda item.
Even before Kathy chose not to be here, we had some openings still, I believe. And I know that the conversation was around whether or not we did want to, in the past, have all of the slots filled, because then that's around the quorum. Because then if we can't get people here consistently, then we can't have a quorum. And then so I'm not sure what the answer to that one would be, if we should advertise for more folks or not. Do you guys have feelings on that?
I mean, I think it would be, it'd be much better to have more members.
Okay.
They'd be able to do more.
Anyone else object? Are you okay with me asking people and putting something out?
I would say as long as we keep track of who's been coming and not coming, and asking members who haven't been able to come to step down, then there's no problem with having a larger board for quorum. The problem and with other boards and things has been that the people stop coming and then they still stay on the committee officially. So,
Right. Okay, and that's the proper procedure, that after they miss the required number of meetings, that I would ask them to step down?
I don't know. I don't recall if it's in the commission's rules, but it is sort of in the city's city charter. If someone misses a significant number of meetings, the chair can ask them to step down. You can always ask someone to step down, to resign, if regardless.
Right.
They can say no, but if there's documented absence and refusals to step down, there is a process.
Okay.
To remove.
All right. Yeah, I think it's in our rules. I think I remember specifically reading in the COD regulations. Okay. Next, do we have any sort of update on the survey? Were people able to document? Yeah, go ahead.
I left quite a few comments in there. I was just trying to get in there now on the survey itself. I don't know if anyone else has been in there or not, but yeah.
Has anybody else read the comments? Does it notify people when there's comments, Jamie? No.
No, it does not notify.
Okay.
It will notify me when there's comments because I'm the owner of the folder, but it won't notify anyone else. So if people are uploading things that other people want to review, it'd be helpful to just have an email just saying, hey, I made these comments. It may also, we should be careful around having too much discussions by email. So
that's very true.
Just a notice saying we made these changes. We should discuss at the next meeting.
Okay. I'm not sure how to pull that up on this side to do it like a screen share or anything like that. That's something I need to be trained or to do, which
there's a button at the bottom in the middle that says share screen.
Right, but I would have to have the drive up, be able to get on the drive, have it pulled up, and then share it.
I see.
Which is, I have to figure out how to do all of that stuff now that I'm.
Angelique, if you want to give me sharing permissions, I can share my screen right now. I have it up.
Oh. I don't even know how to do that, so I will go look.
If you run your cursor,
a co-host?
if you run your cursor over Kelsey's photo.
Yep.
Nope. Actually, let's see. Nope.
And do make a co-host.
You got to go in the participants, I think. Actually.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay, and then the more button.
Yep, I got that. And then make a co-host.
I believe so. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Oh, I don't have the ability to do it. You do.
All right, let me try. Yep, I should be able to share it. Hold on 1 second. When my screen's available, let me know.
Yes.
Okay. So I just kind of went through, since I hadn't seen this before, and made just some general comments based on what I had seen. Is this big enough for everybody? So
yeah,
I don't know if, yeah, okay. I don't know if I left quite a few. I don't know if it's the best. It's up to you guys what you think is the best use of time. If I'm scrolling, so look away if that makes you dizzy. But I kind of went through and just left comments in each area. I didn't change any of the survey itself, just to, if people wanted to take a look. And they're mostly thoughts, suggestions, based on what the content of the survey was itself. Yeah. And then I had some comments on accessibility as well. But I don't know if you want to go one by one or if you prefer to review it and then we can discuss it eventually, or yeah.
Specifically to Bobby and Sarah, we've been working on a survey for a long time. We were working on a survey before COVID started. So some of this might be familiar or it might not be, so don't feel left out or overwhelmed. This is a work in progress, so if Bobby ends up having extra time and wants to take a look at it, he's welcome to. How do you guys want to do you want to go through the comments? Do we want to do it on our own time? Do we want a subcommittee? What do folks want?
I think my just thought process at the moment would be, if there's interest from Kelsey and maybe Eli to get together in between this meeting and the next meeting and go through it. I just don't know that it's going to be the best use of time to go through it together now.
Okay.
But I appreciate Kelsey's review because I think, even just that sentence that's all caps. So it seems like I can read that one comment is that we probably don't want to use all caps. So, I think, Kelsey, did you run into significant, things that would really change the nature of the survey?
This was a little while ago, so I'm just looking through really quick to see what I wrote. I think there were some questions that I had a feeling there were some leading questions where we were kind of having people assume that their disability was a negative thing. And I wanted to be really mindful that might not be a great idea. So some questions I recommend either rewording, deleting, combining. It's so significantly, perhaps in some areas, I recommended branching for some because some people might respond yes, but we might want more information about what that means. So I think it kind of depends on where we were in the survey and what was being asked. But yeah, mostly it's around wording, consideration for how we talk about disability, suggestions on combining or deleting questions. But yeah.
Right. Eli.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
We did talk about that several times back when we had some other members about whether or not things were seen as worded, like you said, towards a negative response. And I think the answer that people came up with was like, we are searching for the problems. So that's why it sounds negative in some of the.
Yeah. I think there are other ways maybe we might want to consider it,
right.
But I mean, I recommend if you have time, read through the comments. Obviously, if people don't think that we should change it and it's a group decision not to, I think this question, number 8, was the one I was looking for. Does it cause you to feel any of the following? I think that question personally, as someone with a disability as well, it's a little bit, in my opinion, rooted in ableism to assume that there's lack of confidence, nervousness, anxiousness, etc. Right. I think everybody at some time feels those things. So I just posed, could we think about this more openly? Could we think about it a little bit differently? Because we might also find that people feel really happy about their disability. And I think we should allow for that possibility to be mentioned. And then to find out more why.
That was the one that
that might give us more information.
Yeah, that was actually the very one that we went back and forth about. And unfortunately, we've been working on this survey for like several years. And so now you'll see a concise version. And then before we had like 100-something questions. There's just been so many versions of this with people having opposing views. On so many things, how many questions there should be, how they should be answered, what the wording is, like it's, some people.
I guess my question kind of, go ahead.
Oh yeah, should me and Kelsey work on it together? So
that'd be great.
Okay. Is that right,
you guys
Kelsey?
Can find a time
that sounds,
for the next
that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should the rest of us just glance at it before the next meeting to see what's in there if you have time?
I mean, if anyone does and wants to send us their general thoughts or add comments to the document, like reply to my comments, we can review those when we go through. This was probably the one that will, it sounds like, cause the most whatever. I just would encourage us to kind of think a little bit more deeply about it and think about it less in terms of like the person is the problem and more the societal barriers we exist in are the problem. Yeah. And so is there a way to get at the same question by asking that?
The people that had opposing views are not on the commission anymore, so it might, we might not have.
Yeah, so leave your reply.
Yeah, and then like Jamie had said that if there's like comments being made, since we can't have a discussion over email, if folks can just say, hey, there's some changes or some comments, if people can take a look.
Okay.
So that we
just reply and then we'll know which comment it belongs to. So Eli,
but if
I'll send you an email after.
We would not know if you wrote back.
Yeah, I guess
if you write back.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. I'm just thinking I'll probably just at this point not be writing back. I'll just assume that you will all leave your comments here and Eli and I will kind of review it. So I would make the assumption I won't be responding to those comments except through the survey after Eli and I meet.
Right. Okay. Right. But so after you guys meet, if you can let us know if you change anything.
Yeah.
We can take it. Awesome. Okay. All right. Are there other thoughts on the topic of the survey?
I just have a question about, I think this will be great if Kelsey and Eli can get together and, work on the questions that you flagged. And then my question was about maybe it's jumping ahead a little bit, but the next step. So would we want to go back to forms to, Kelsey, at some point I think you described forms as being a little bit more user-friendly and possibly more accessible. So
Yeah.
if you and Eli can get together and then at the next meeting we review kind of the questions, and hopefully it seems like we would be pretty close at that point. And then what Jamie and I couldn't figure out is it's just not clear that we can get you outside access to the Microsoft suite, which is really just kind of unfortunate.
Oh,
but I don't know.
I did find something though, if you don't mind. I had emailed Jamie. What we did find out was I played around with my own Forms account, and I can like create it myself, email it to Jamie, and then she can make a copy of it and have that hosted at Easthampton. So I think we could like work and review it all together in the end through mine. But then when I send it off, we can make edits and everything. And when I send it to Jamie, she can like make a copy, and then you guys own that copy.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's a great workaround.
That might be yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay,
I think that's good.
cool.
It seems like that's necessary because for whatever reason, IT is saying it's just not.
It's okay.
So,
yeah, that's fine.
All right. And then, it seems like we would be pretty close. We should really think about, as a next step also, is outreach and how to get it out and to who. It's a really important part. So we wouldn't want all this work to be done and then not have a plan for outreach. So it might take just a little bit of time to figure out the best way. Obviously we can get it on the website, but by itself, that might not be enough. So we should figure out how to enhance the outreach. And I don't have a lot of ideas at the moment, but I think it's something that we should put on the list to tackle. So
yeah, well, we had a bunch of ideas that are now moot because of the pandemic.
Right.
So now I have no idea what we would do.
Could we go into some of the Facebook groups that are people are a part of as part of Easthampton specifically? Yeah. Maybe we could have the school system send it out to parents.
Yeah.
Yep. Any of our agencies that we work with locally, Council on Aging, the different councils, other commissions.
Yeah, those are on the list. And I'm willing to put it out because we don't have a Facebook page as the COD. So,
yeah, and I think when we're ready, the planning department can put it on their Facebook page, which has a pretty good number of people who follow that. Mm-hmm. Then, where we've had the most success is putting some of the outreach goes out at the same time, so it creates this awareness that this is happening. And then we do have access to the reminder, which is the newer publication that gets printed and delivered. Okay. If they have enough time, a little bit of lead time, they will write a story about it, and then it can get printed. And so one of the things that we've been trying is to work with the reminder and the Gazette. And if we can get them close to each other, that they're publicating, that's not the right word, publishing, and then we have all the outreach happening at the same time. That kind of concerted effort has worked well for people to be aware. It all happens at once. So we should try to do that if we can when we're ready to release this.
My faces weren't at you. My faces were, oh my God, talk to a newspaper.
Yeah, but I think it's good because they'll ask you for, what are you trying to accomplish? And it's a really good opportunity for you. We should come up with a couple talking points, either pulled right out of the survey intro or other talking points about what we're trying to do, and what we'll do with the survey information once it gets sent back.
Is the mayor still doing her little meetings with folks and?
She hasn't been doing those lately. She is issuing these situational report, which is basically just, and it would go there. I think it's pretty easy to get this information onto those. I don't know how much reach that has right now. But yeah, I think as long as we can get it out kind of as a concerted effort, I think we'll see how the survey responses are. I mean, we're doing a survey now for an open space plan, and we mailed, actually I have one here. We mailed these things to 9,000 households. 9,000 households, but unfortunately, we only have like 450 responses. So even with like this level of concerted effort, I was expecting a lot more responses, and so by sending 9,000 and only getting 450, it's not. We just have to be, like, I guess, reasonable with the level of response that we might get. But I think any data is going to be good data. So.
Right.
Yeah. There also, before, there's a concern about people who do not use computers and how to get them.
Right.
Is that still something we're concerned about?
Yeah, I guess my question would be, we could print a whole bunch, but I think getting access to printed copies is a little bit trickier now. I guess the question would be, so if they don't, I guess we would need to be making some copies available at certain locations. I think it just makes sense. I was going to say people could email and request a copy, but if they don't have a computer, then they're not going to be able to email a request.
Right.
Is there a phone that they could call?
Yeah, there would be a phone number we could set up. Someone could call and ask for a copy to be mailed to them. I think that's reasonable.
Right. Does that have to fit in any sort of budget, or are we good to go on that?
If we're talking about a modest number of printed surveys, we could probably just do it in-house. I'm thinking like 100. Like I think 100's doable. And I just don't know how many we would want to print. That's always the trick, is if we print 500, we may never even, distribute 500. So.
Okay. Bobby and Sarah, what do you think, Bobby? How can we get these surveys out to people?
I don't know.
Yeah. In particular. Oh, sorry.
So can you say that again? I don't think they caught what you said.
I say, but
Bob just said he's not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in particular, how can we, how can people know about the survey, I think, is harder than how do we get the survey to people once they know.
Right. Because not everybody's on Facebook, and not everybody's knows that there's even a website for the COD. So, right.
So can I ask a sort of clarifying question? Is how many responses are we looking to get?
I don't
Like,
think
what would success be, and how long do we want to have this
going
open once we put it out there?
That's a good question.
I guess I don't know what the numbers are, and they might change with the new census, but in the 2010 census, there was some data about the number of disabled people or people who have disabilities and responded as such to the census. So we can't target them explicitly, but knowing if we have, let's say, 1,000 people with disabilities in Easthampton having 100 responses would be a 10% response rate, and that might be good, or that might not be enough. I'm just sort of putting it out there that it might help to figure out, if we know how many we're looking to get and what's a representative sample, or what kind of data we're looking to generate, then that could indicate how much effort we need to go to distributed or,
I think when we were writing all the questions, I don't think we really thought about people not responding. I think we all had a pretty hopeful attitude that the majority would respond, but so we don't. It's an excellent question that we haven't had to face yet. So
there's about 14,000 people in Easthampton approximately.
I think it's about 16,000. Yeah.
16. Okay. I know, U.S. census wise, on average, over the last few cycles, there's been an increase, a rise, and it's been around 25-26% of people generally that we know that is documented, with the anticipation that it's higher. Just in general population. So whatever, about maybe 0.25% of 16 would be a best guesstimate for a population as a whole.
Right.
And then I don't know if we want all of that, or if we want more or less, but that might be a good starting point to kind of consider population wise the presence of disability, or the incidence of disability is usually around 1/4 reported.
Well, that's all.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I thought I undid that.
Okay.
I'm looking at the ADA grant that Jeff put together for this planning grant, and it said 15.4% as of 2010. So that was about 24.
In Easthampton specifically, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so if the number's going up nationwide, then it's probably going up in Easthampton as well. So somewhere between 2,500 and 4,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually thought it was higher than that, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think they say it's usually higher. It's just often not reported, or it's underreported, and nationally, it's around 25. So I bet it's probably higher than 15, but somewhere in between that.
Yeah.
What Jamie was saying, that percentage,
Yeah. No, I mean, I was
whatever the word is.
under the impression it was 40 or 50%, but I might have just made that up.
And then I'd be curious too, what age range, did we ask that question on there? Are we curious about age range in terms of the people taking the survey? What the experience of someone perhaps who has an aging related disability versus someone who has a biological from birth disability? Maybe, is that a question we're interested in? People might perceive themselves in their, it was, okay.
It's definitely age range, and that was on there. I don't know if it currently.
I don't mean to interrupt. I got an email from Jeff Brown saying he's trying to get back into the meeting. Is there a way to
see? There's nothing saying that somebody needs to be let in.
That already happened, guys.
Oh, it already happened? Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, Jeff.
A little bit. I sent the email, and then when I checked back, I was back in, which was awesome. So, great responsiveness, guys.
We can check and see then, maybe Eli, on the survey, if that stuff's there. I don't know if we're interested in kind of wanting to know any of that information and making sure that our sample is also reflective of a variety of age ranges.
Yeah, we can definitely consider that. I haven't thought about this in a long time, so I need to kind of remember everything. But yeah.
I think the other piece that we had talked about way back was that we can't really help with anything school related, IEP or 504. So, how to get that across, because there is some confusion amongst people. I think we have some control over the special ed department.
Yeah, but does that mean we don't want people to answer about
Oh,
it?
no, we do. Yeah,
okay.
of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's just,
So maybe we could put a range on there to say, like, what's your approximate age range as a question? Like, are you between, like, this age and this age, this age, this age, or above? Just to get an idea of some of the respondents and see if we get, significantly more in one population or age range.
Yeah, we could
Right.
also at the beginning of the survey, there was this like kind of explanation of the COD, right? And we could just put like something in parentheses in that says,
Yeah.
we don't deal with IEPs.
Yeah. How about community TV?
yes. You're
Oh, good
right.
call.
Yeah. Community TV. Yeah. You're right.
Okay. I did good.
Yeah, you did good. That's right. Keep coming up with those ideas. Okay, and then we were trying to figure out like what exactly is going to happen once we get all the information, who's going to read it, and go through it, and how we're going to total it and use it and all that good stuff, right?
One good thing about Forms is that it does have a data insights feature. So it will aggregate all of the things by question and all the kind of respondents and who answer what, and then you can export it into an Excel spreadsheet to like further play with the data. So that will be a positive also of using that. The insights are pretty robust.
Okay, so that's what you've been talking, Forms instead of SurveyMonkey, so then we can just go through it. Well, would we be going through it as a group, or would we be making a subcommittee to gather all the information and bring it back to the group?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. Okay.
And I can be on that subcommittee.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that either. And so as far as inputting it, Kelsey, but you're saying because it's your account, you would be inputting it?
Yeah, Eli and I can kind of move it over based on like what we do for the comments and all that. And then I'll share that with Jamie, and then we can kind of look at it all together, perhaps, or if you guys want to look at it, we can email when it's all set and you can go in there and take a look. And then if there's any other edits, Jamie would make that on her end after she makes the copy, and then it would be ready to go.
Okay. Sounds good. Do we have anything else you want to bring up around the topic of survey? No? Okay. I'm going to skip down to World Disability Day and just say that Jeff Brown, Kelsey, and I have a meeting. We're going to do a little Zoom meeting tonight. We didn't get to meet yet because I had some health stuff going on. So, right. So we're going to meet tonight, 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
As far as number 4, updates on the ADA accommodations for folks who attend meetings. Do we have any more info on that?
Don't have any updates at that for that point.
That's okay. Anybody have anything they want to say on that or add? Okay. Next, the update on guest speakers, panels, public events. I guess that's sort of tied into the last question. I did speak with Jeff Dugan, who's, chairs the MOD in Boston. That was the first person that I was going to have talk to us. He's willing to talk to us just as a point person, because if we're sending people out towards Boston to handle things that we can't, like I just wanted there to be a face to go with the name and not just sending people into the darkness. Jeff Bagg, what are your thoughts on that?
You're thinking he would come in December? Is that what?
Oh, he's at the time, like, we didn't know what he just offered. He offered, like, I don't have a specific date. He just threw it out there. Like, here, I'm available in November, I'm available in December. I'm just talking about, you know, what he covers and what he has to offer as far as being a person that maybe people in the commission should know exists.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, we've talked about this before, which is it would be nice to understand what happens if any one of us or anyone, you know, refers someone to MOD in Boston. It would be really nice to understand what they do. I think that would be useful. I think we should look at what's online right now for how are we directing people in the event that they have a complaint. It's not something we don't do it very often. So having a little understanding of what we do just to make sure that, you know, we're aware of what we do, and maybe they'll advise us on that other information that we should have posted or available.
And MOD is Massachusetts Office of Disability, correct?
Right.
Okay. Does anybody have any strong feelings towards having that person come at some point when we're ready, when we have everything, the accessibility stuff in place? And when I say come, I mean, I don't think we'll be in person by then. So are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Okay, and so I had posted, in your free time, if you have a few minutes, I had posted like a list of places, what be possible speakers or in the future. So if you want to look it over, if you want to add anything, because that would be the list that we would be picking from in the future. I also had made a list of, I guess you call them field trips, because I know that the town's working on a few projects that they want our opinions on, right, Jeff? On East Street, there's something going on.
Yeah, sorry, someone came into my office. Can you say that again?
No, that's okay.
I heard the East Street part. I just didn't hear what your question was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, just that originally some of us were maybe gonna, when COVID started, going to go down to the new place on East Street and walk around and stuff. So I don't know if something like that can still happen in a socially distanced manner or not.
The new what kind of place is on East Street?
Yeah, I mean, what's happening now is that, you know, the city bought a property on East Street, and the goal has been to create an accessible parking area and a handicapped accessible trail. We've applied for a grant to actually construct that, and so we're still waiting to hear whether we get awarded this grant. In reality, we should know. What I'm being told is we should know before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Whether we were awarded the grant, and then we would use the winter to do a lot of design work, and they would come up with construction drawings, and then we would be potentially looking at construction sometime in July. So between now and July, there would be some kind of like ribbon cutting or some kind of ceremony, and we would start to do maybe some site walks up there, but I don't think it would be happening anytime
right.
soon-ish. It would be in the spring.
Yeah.
But you know, I plan on, if we do get the funding, it'll be, I mean, it's a huge project. We're talking about $500,000 to get this kind of construction underway. If we do get it before Thanksgiving, we're gonna make a big deal about it. It would add to our resources for people, so all people, you know, some with mobility issues would be able to get it onto another trail. It's a very unique property. So it would add, you know, right now there's Mutter's Field, which is an accessible trail, and this would be our second really sort of, you know, with intent to provide access to nature for people with mobility issues. So I think there's nothing I don't think there's much we would do this fall, but I think in the spring, it would be really cool to get people out there and see it being planned and then see it under construction.
Yeah, I think me, Jeff Brown and I, we both attended that meeting. I know Jeff had concerns about, like you guys were talking about pushing a wheelchair up and, things like it was too steep, things like that. And so a field trip would be awesome. Yeah. Or I don't know, what else do you call it besides a field trip? That's mom talk. So.
Yeah, like a site visit. Yeah, field trip.
Site visit. Okay, let me get my professional talk on.
Field trip is good though too. That's a good way to describe it.
We can bring snacks. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that there was like an active document there that if there's other places or projects. I personally, like when I became chair, I really wanted to do a lot of interacting with other groups in the town to see, just what kind of help we can offer, what kind of knowledge as a whole we can provide or gain or. Has everybody, did everybody know about that project, or is this news to some people on the one on East Street? Bobby, did you know that there's going to be like a park type place on East Street?
Yeah.
You did? Of course you did. Why am I asking?
Yeah.
You know all the info.
Oh yeah. I know you have to forget.
That's right. You should take my job.
Yeah.
Do we know, like, if the trail starts on East Street, do you know where it goes?
It's just up and down, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a meandering path, so there's switchbacks so that you can get up the slope. Jeff was on the meeting, and it's not going to be intense, but it's going to be something where it is going to be ADA compliant, but it's at the kind of the maximum grades that are allowed. Mm-hmm. But it is going to, if we get the funding and it happens, it's going to bring you up to a vantage point where you can see over to the Oxbow, and there'll be picnic tables and sort of a place to get to, sort of a destination. And the parking area is going to have, it's going to be van accessible with a trailhead and a kiosk. So the intent is to really make it, something where I think, like Angelique said, like a field trip, a place for people to go. It doesn't. For more avid hikers, there will be a connection to the New England Scenic Trail, which goes up into the mountain. And so, the way that we presented the project is it really provides access to 3 user groups, which is people potentially with mobility issues. There'll be a moderate hike around one of the sides. There'll be like a side loop. And then there'll be avid hikers who will use the path to then get up and access Mount Tom. So we hope that that's something that's compelling to the state and make it worth funding, is that it's kind of designed for multiple user groups.
You said a kiosk. What are we selling? Masks and water? I'm just joking. I don't know. What's a kiosk to you guys?
It'll be a trail map, and some information about.
Got it. Okay.
That kind of stuff. That's what. Yeah.
All right. No sunglasses. Okay. All right.
Is it possible as part of that kiosk? I don't know if we do that currently. I haven't really seen anything that does it, but is it possible to add like a QR code on the kiosk itself that could take like a visual description, that could take you to a visual description of what's going on and like what the ramp is like and all that? I think we have a really, really interesting possibility to open it up to some of our blind and low vision people as well. If we provide access to that, we can give them an auditory description of the trail.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I appreciate that question, and I appreciate this discussion, because I'm kind of only been focused on getting the funding. And I'm really hopeful. I feel optimistic that we stand a good chance. And I think there would be an opportunity during the final design stage to have our consultant come to or consult with this commission, because it is going to be, we just haven't even gotten to that point yet. it's all kind of fingers crossed that we get this round of funding. But I think that's a good observation, Kelsey, that I think there is an opportunity to involve the commission. If we get the funding and we go into design phase, then we can bring the consultant to this group for that kind of input. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I honestly hadn't really thought through if we actually get the funding and getting that input. So I will keep that in the focus, especially in the next couple of weeks if we learn that we get the grant. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I wonder too, like, even if for whatever reason, we don't find out soon, or if it like something happens and it's not this particular project, I wonder what opportunities exist to provide like those kind of QR codes on any of the trail maps or maps we have around the city that provide a auditory or transcript description of like whatever it's discussing. I know there's some stuff downtown that might be really interesting that people wouldn't know about, but then we could kind of let people know on the website and other spaces that, you know, if we put the QR code in the same space across all these different maps and things, that might be really interesting.
Yeah. There's one other project that we're working on. It's in its early stages, is a wayfinding project. You know, it's just a fancy word for signs, a sign system to get people around. And so, you know, I think that would be a good input for that project as well. I would say that we're probably like a year out from actually getting any actual sign, but we're in the early stages, and I think that input would be pretty valuable. So Kelsey, I'm going to email you because I think having you participating in that wayfinding project at this stage would be really good. And then with the East Street project, I think if we get the funding, I think there's a real good opportunity to work that in. We're very close to that stage with the East Street project, and wayfinding is a little bit farther out, but that's great input.
So wayfinding.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Wayfinding for what?
So the wayfinding, if you're for taking notes or for taking notes, it's wayfinding for our downtown business districts.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's really kind of the main focus, but we've asked the consultant to pay attention to the rail trail and the idea that we have people who are on foot or on bike who might also, you know, the best example that we've come up with is when you're riding down the rail trail and you get to Union Street, you know, there's really no indication of how to get up to Main Street or how to get to Cottage Street. And so it's just this really big gap of information that we can provide to people.
I see.
And I think Kelsey's idea of working in a QR code to help other people understand where they are and where they could go is important.
Yeah, and if there's any funding for that project, there's even like these really inexpensive kind of like Bluetooth beacons that are called Way Around that offer the opportunity to add, you can like stick them on signs and it can alert someone that they're in a proximity of one of them. So it can ping their phone if they're available to open up to that. And it can, if you accept it, it can provide you a description of what you're doing, where you are, where you're going. So there's like a lot of interesting Bluetooth beacon technology. And then obviously the lower tech version would be we slap a QR code on it and it takes you to a link where there's like a textual description or like an MP4 or something that does a audio description.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Although, there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, I hope there aren't like too much resources dedicated to things for like people with a technology privilege, right? That we guarantee that it's usable by people without that.
Well, the sign itself would be the one that would also tell people where to go, right? Like if they were standing in front of it and they could see, that would be their access point. If they couldn't see, they would need another means of access.
Yeah.
Hopefully it would be posted. Maybe there's physical maps that could be created as well, but.
It's all good ideas. Yeah. No, I think there's plenty of time to work those in, especially for the wayfinding. It's at the early stage. So it's a good time to be thinking about that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
All right. Well, we're approaching the end of our time for the meeting. So are there other things that folks felt were pressing that they wanted to talk about?
I just want to put a plug in for the open space survey. If you haven't already taken it, there is, important opportunity to let people know, or let us know what types of recreational opportunities you use and what you're looking for and what could be improved and how it could be improved.
And where can people
and that's going to serve the, it's linked to on our website, easthamptonma.gov.
Okay.
So for the members of the committee and anyone who's watching at home.
I like the sound effects when you said I want to make a plug and then it went ding.
That was wow. Unintentional.
I was like, wow, we're full service over here. Okay. Yeah, is there anything else, guys? We're all going to do our homework. We're going to take a look at what we need to do and then have our meetings and get back to everybody. Awesome. Okay. So does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn? I will. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? And our next meeting, sorry, is December 1st at 10 a.m.
So I think I'm at jury duty, so I don't think I'll be able to attend, unfortunately.
We forgive you, but thank you.
Sure thing.
All right.
Would we maybe want to talk, are you set for jury duty, or is it something where you would call in ahead of time, or?
Yeah, I have to show up, I guess, unless they do anything totally, like change it or anything with everything that's going on now. But yeah, it's a set date.
I was wondering, just based on hearing that, do we maybe want to set a different meeting date for that? Because I would hate to lose the whole month, especially if we're going to be making a little bit of progress on the survey.
Okay. Meaning the following on the 8th? Or does it not have to be a Tuesday?
Probably best to keep it on a Tuesday morning. Just pushing back a week if everyone looks and sees we have availability.
Are other folks available on December 8th? Does anybody have a conflict with that?
I'm just looking.
Works for me.
Say it works for me. Are you available on December?
I am unfortunately in another meeting at that time. So I won't be able to do the 8th. But I mean, also, if you want, like Eli, if you're cool with kind of distributing the info to that whatever we talk about, that's okay with me. I don't want to hold up everything for the survey. Sorry.
Is there a time that day that works better for you? If we push it out a little bit?
I could do 11 a.m. that day. Or I could do anytime between 11 and 3 or anytime after 4:30.
I mean, I would just ask if, and Angelique, do you think 11 would work on the 8th?
It's fine with me. I don't know about other folks, or on the day that you have jury duty, do you know what time it starts? Like, can people meet early?
Yeah, I have to be there like at 8 or something in the morning. I have to be there, and then I just kind of sit and wait. Hopefully I won't get called to anything, but we'll see. Yeah. And I mean, there's a chance I could get released, but I wouldn't know for sure. Right. Unfortunately.
I am fine for December 8th at 11. What about other members?
Yeah.
And Amy?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Jeff Brown, are you still on the call? Would that work for you, do you think? Eli, does that work for you?
He's just on mute.
Yeah, I'm here. My landlord's also helping out with a maintenance issue in my apartment, so I'm kind of.
We were talking about meeting on December 8th at 11 instead of December 1st at 10. Would that work for you, Jeff?
I'll try to head you.
It should work. It should work, yeah.
If it doesn't, just let me know.
Yeah, everything's up in the air. I'm hoping to have another job by then, but and if that happens, I don't know how committee meetings will work, but yeah, but I mean, I will definitely be on top of that if there's going to be a conflict.
Okay. I think we should try it, and
You just have to check in with Sarah for Bobby.
We'll make that work.
Maybe.
Yep, we'll make that work, so no worries.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a puppy and he's eating everything.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
great.
All right.
Thanks for shifting. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Cool. All right.
All right. Thank you,
Talk to you
everybody.
soon. Thanks, everybody.
It was nice seeing everybody, and we'll be in touch.
I'll talk
Thank you.
to you guys later. See ya. Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Nice to meet you, Bobby.